Have you ever looked at a gitignore file and wondered what the exclamation mark means? You're not alone. Today, we're diving into the world of gitignore files and uncovering the mystery behind that pesky symbol. I totally get it. Understanding gitignore can be confusing, especially when you want to make sure you're including or excluding the right files. You're definitely not the only one who has questions about this. Let's take a look at the specific question at hand. One user asked, "What does the exclamation mark do in gitignore files?" They shared their gitignore setup and were unsure about how it works. Sound familiar? Let's break it down together. So what does the exclamation mark actually do? In gitignore files, it acts as a negation. This means that if a file or directory is excluded by a previous pattern, the exclamation mark can be used to include it again. However, there are some important limitations to keep in mind. And stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share a quick tip to help you manage your gitignore files more effectively. To understand the role of the exclamation mark in a gitignore file, let's first look at the example provided by the user. The user has a gitignore file that states to ignore everything in the media directory. The first line, which is /media/, tells Git to ignore all files and subdirectories within the media directory. This means that everything inside media will not be tracked by Git. The second line, which is /media/xml_connect, is where the exclamation mark comes into play. This line negates the previous rule for the XML_connect directory, meaning that this specific directory will be included in Git tracking. So to summarize, the user is correct. They are ignoring everything in the media directory except for the XML_connect directory. This allows them to keep that specific directory under version control. It's important to note that if a parent directory is ignored, any patterns on contained files will have no effect. In this case, since the media directory is ignored, only the XML_connect directory can be tracked. Fun fact, the exclamation mark is often used in programming to denote not or negation, so it makes sense that it would have a similar role in gitignore files. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. This user explains that the pattern /media/star ignores all files in the media directory. However, to make an exception for the directory media/xml_connect, you can use the exclamation mark before the path. This means that when you run git add, only media XML_connect will be added, while everything else in media will be ignored. Additionally, the user notes that the order of patterns in the .gitignore file matters. If you reverse the order, placing media/xml_connect before /media/char, it will ignore all files in the media directory. Here's a quick tip. Always double-check your gitignore file after making changes. It can save you a lot of headaches down the line. And there you have it. You now understand what the exclamation mark does in gitignore files. If you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button for more tips and tricks on using Git effectively.